Hey guys, it's Greg and Janet, and welcome to another episode of Flix with the Hicks. Today's movie that I chose to review is Date Movie, which I believe was made in 2006. It stars Allison Hannigan as Julia. And basically, Date Movie is a parody or satire on romantic comedies. And Julia is a hopeless romantic in this movie who finally finds her knight in shining armor, a Mr. Frank Fonk your daughter. And it follows their trials and tribulations on their way to the altar. This movie does have some faces that you would remember from other films and TV series in the past. Mr. Fred Willard and Eddie Griffin. Neither one of them play large roles. This movie appears to me to have been a movie where they take some young actors who are just breaking out into Hollywood and they put them into a comedy, trying to get them some recognition, kind of like the movie Airplane or The Naked Gun, some of those types of films. But this movie here was horrible. I mean, this honestly was, and I'm not joking, this was the worst movie I've ever seen. I was in the mood to watch a comedy, which is the reason that I chose this one to watch. And about 10 minutes into it, I knew that this movie wasn't going to get any better. It's a very crude movie, a lot of dark humor in it, and I really can't tell you if the actors were doing a good job or not, because the script was so bad.
It was terrible.
That it was. This is the first movie I've ever watched that I think was completely unwatchable. 10 minutes into it, I found myself looking at my phone, checking out emails, and every few minutes I'd look up and I'd think, okay, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. I'll give it a half hour. Half hour into it, it wasn't any better. This movie was bad. This movie was so bad that if I see any of these actors in a future movie, I won't even remember that they were ever in this movie, which is probably a really good thing for them and their careers.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to be known as being in this movie. Now, the surprising thing to me about this movie is it actually made over $48 million gross. Which
probably costs about half that to make it.
I don't know. But the amazing thing to me is that they could get that many people to go see this movie. It must have had some really good promotions. I don't understand this movie. I don't understand why it was made. Honestly, I certainly wouldn't want to put my name on it. But anyhow, it was bad.
It was bad.
Out of 1 to 100, I give this movie, truthfully, a solid 0.
Yeah. Man, oh my God, you guys, I'm going like, really? I go, this sucks. It's supposed to be a comedy, right? I was looking like you said, Airplane or something like that, you know, where it's had this Kill Bill area in it, and I go like, you know, I mean, it was so bad. I've never seen, you know, for a comedy, it's got to be the worst comedy I've ever seen. It didn't even make me laugh. The whole storyline was bad. The jokes were bad. The acting was bad. I mean, it was bad. I mean, I give it a 0 too. It's the worst comedy I've ever seen. Now, as far as being the worst movie overall, no, I mean, I've seen movies that the footage and stuff was so bad that you couldn't even hardly watch it. I mean,
this was the worst for me. This was the worst.
I mean, as far as footage, you know, the filming itself, I mean, I've seen that it was hard to watch the movie because you couldn't even hardly see it. But, I mean, the movie itself sucks. Yeah, but, I mean.
So what do you give it, 0 to 100?
0.
0. Two zeros.
0.
Yeah, what are the I actually saw a review on this movie that made a heck of a lot of sense. The reviewer said that whenever you make a parody movie, you're making fun of the original movie. So if you're making one on romantic comedies, you're making fun of romantic comedies. The problem was, or is, that most of the romantic comedies were funnier than this film, which is supposed to be a parody of those movies.
Yeah.
So.
They were trying to make jokes of the comedy, or, you know, date movies, like love stories and stuff, and their jokes weren't funny. The way they came off was bad, and I'm like,
all right, so what film did you pick to review today, Miss Janet?
The Devil Wears Prada. Okay, it's a pretty good movie. It's a girly type movie if you're into fashion and the runway scene and all that, but which I'm not, but I like the story. Meryl Streep, she plays Miranda Priestley, a real bitch. I don't know. I didn't want to say it on YouTube, but anyway,
you can.
She is one of those bad, and she's all hotty toddy and running this magazine, the Runway magazine. And all these girls would just die to have this job to be an assistant for her, right? Okay, Emily Blunt is playing a girl named Emily. And she is training this new girl, which her name is Andrea or Andy Sachs. And she comes from the country. She just got out of college, out of the university, and she's a writer. Well, she just happened to interview for Miss Priestley, Meryl Streep. Just kind of walked in her frumpy clothes. She wasn't even fashion minded. Anyway, she kind of held her ground as far as the interview. And she started work with Emily Blunt, or Emily, the assistant for Miranda. Anyway, takes over her whole life and everything, right? Well, she ends up getting into the fashion life, getting all the clothes and the fancy Gucci this and this, whatever. And her personal life sucks because she's on call 24/7. Everything, she's like getting right into all this. She was, like a homely type, cute little girl. Now she was right into the scene of everything, and this was like taking over her life, and she got to go to Paris and screwed over the other assistant. Anyway, it turns out that Miranda, the boss lady, actually did have feelings and stuff like that, and Andrea brought all that out. Anyway, Andy just gave it all up. Anyway, that's how the movie is. It was a good movie. The story was good, and all the trials and the stuff they went through, and the boss lady being such a bitch and everything, and everybody just like, oh, here comes Miranda. Oh my God. Oh, move this, all like this. Anyway, this girl kind of got into that, and she kind of held her ground, and anyway, she did good. And Meryl Streep, she got nominees for Oscars, Grammys, and all this for this movie. And it made $326 million. It cost only $41 million to make it. It was done in 2006. And I guess it's held its own. I mean, it was a good story, I thought. Between 1 and 100, I'd probably give it, I like 75, 80. It's not fabulous.
You gotta put one number on it. What is it?
Okay, I'll give it 75.
75.
75.
Okay.
Yeah, I went too fast, so I talked fast.
The acting in the movie was really good. It really was. My problem with the film is that I was not interested in the content. I'm not into fashion, obviously. I've never understood, a guy can carry, let's say, $800 around in his wallet. His wallet might cost $10. Now,
Right.
a lady would walk around with a $2,000 purse with $40 in cash inside of it. I always thought that the idea of a purse was to protect the valuables inside of it. But in fashion, it appears that the purse is the valuable, and you put not much inside of it. It's kind of like with,
Hey, that's a good analogy.
It's kind of like with clothing. You would think the more material that it took to make an outfit, the more expensive it would be. But no, it's the tiny little items. It's the panties, the bra, the lingerie that's the important, expensive part in fashion. And I've never understood that. I think the only thing I truly know about
You're
fashion
wrong.
is that I don't know anything about fashion.
No, the whole outfit, it all has to be coordinated. The shoes, the handbag, the undergarments along with the outer garment, and it all has to flow and it all has to work together. Along with the jewelry and makeup and the hairdo, everything has to go together.
But you can do that at Walmart.
Yeah, I do.
mean,
yeah, you see me?
I've never understood the whole fashion deal. But having said that, it was a pretty good film. The acting was really good in it, but it suffered for me because it was hard for me to really become interested in the characters because I'm not into fashion. I'm just not. So.
Yeah, they're talking about shoes and bags and who needs to have this and.
Now, if it had been called The Devil Plays Football, then I probably would have been, more involved in the film. But it just, it was hard for me to really get into the characters and everything because I wasn't really interested in the content.
Well,
overall, I would say I would give that movie 57.
That's pretty good.
57.
It's a girly movie.
Yeah. It's worth spending the time to see the movie just to see Meryl Streep act.
Mm-hmm.
She's very good in everything. I don't think that she had a great script to work with on this one. So.
Yeah. Not really. It wasn't all that involved, but.
But then again, I'm a hick. What do I know?
Yeah, there we go. All right.
So.
I liked the movie pretty good. The acting was good. Storyline for me was fine.
So on the first film date movie, we both say,
"Oh my God!
Don't waste your time.
Oh my God!
Don't waste your time.
Don't red box it or nothing.
It'll be an hour and a half of your life that you truly wished you had back." And on The Devil Wears Prada, I'd say, it's worth spending the time to watch it. Janet feels like it's definitely worth spending the time to watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. And of course, I'd be like, okay, how much is that bag? How much are those shoes? Oh my God.
And I'd be like, oh, thank God I don't have to pay for that bag and those shoes.
Yeah, I'm not into it, but I respect it a lot, All right, you guys. Well, thanks for watching. It's always fun to do this stuff. It keeps us occupied.
And until next time, watch those films on DVD.
Yeah.
Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on